right, ladless and gentle spoons. How are we doing this morning time, evening? Depends on when you decide to go to bed, right? If you decide to go to bed right now, it's evening. Or if your clock says morning time, so de bruyne utra. If it's evening, spokojne noche. My love. That was just me messing around with stuff. Just goofing around with Fruity Loops, kind of showing how I do stuff, how I build beats and things like that, and some of the music that Skirmish does. I have a MIDI keyboard right here where I can program different, whatever I can think of on the guitar. I just find the notes and play it on the keyboard. If I find the notes on the keyboard, transfer it to guitar, vice versa. And that's what I love about music, is that so much is translatable. Because especially with Western music, there's only 12 notes to an octave, to a scale. And so being there's only 12 notes, whether you play those 12 notes on a keyboard, on a piano, on a guitar, on any instrument, flute, they're the same 12 notes, with a standard tuning at 440 being A. All the notes are the same. So once you learn how to get, that's the main thing, is how to get the notes out of the instrument. Like once I know how to get the notes out of this, and what notes are what, those same skills transfer over to flute, clarinet, whatever. Matter of fact, the more you can learn about all the different instruments, the better rounded musician you are. And the more you learn how to play instruments, the more you're likely to glorify your own parts and start looking at yourself as a part of a team. Because when you understand what goes into the drums, you have a lot more respect when the drummer pops a drum fill or perfectly accents the word. You know what I mean? The moment, they capture the moment correctly. You're like, oh, dude, mwah, well done, sir. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Because so many people think that drumming is just doom, da, doom, 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 da, and anybody can just, whoever, what, if you're, as long as you're a drummer, you can fill it in. No. No. Every drummer has their own style. Every drummer has their own little thing. So therefore, what you contribute to this band is your contribution to the band. And honestly, the drums, if you actually think about it, set the time and tempo. So if they're in tune and whatever, if everybody else goes out, everything else will sound in time and whatever. Think about when Jimi Hendrix would just go nuts. Mitch Mitchell was back there just keeping that, you know what I mean? No matter what. It would sound cool, but it wouldn't sound as cool if he wasn't holding that beat so that Jimmy can fucking, and everybody in the audience is just still grooving to the exact same thing while Jimmy is just weaving you in and out of that fucking, you know what I mean? He's drifting off to strange, beautiful grass of green. You know what I mean? The bass player holding in the bass player and the drummer together make it seem like there's a song going on no matter what everybody else is doing. The bass, guitar can be doing crazy shit, but it still sounds like the song is still playing. It just sounds like these guys have gone nuts and they're doing their own little thing. If you don't understand how hard that is, you don't understand timing. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4. You and the drummer are locked into that same syncopation and same 1, 2, 3, and you're doing your groove. And these guys are fucking it up hard by doing their own thing. Try and keep a tempo. Here's an idea. Even if you're just going 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn on a strobe light that's not set to your beat. Close your eyes and try to avoid it. I'm being serious. I had to play a gig like this because the band wanted to fucking play with the strobe light, but they didn't want to be out in the public, out in the whatever. So they set it right underneath my drum kit. So as I'm looking down at my snare or out in the crowd or whatever, wow, 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 at a steady beat. Because it's metronomic. It doesn't fucking vary up to what I'm playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the fucking flash was at. And I'm having to count 90 beats, 70 beats, 80 beats. I'm having to adjust my timing while this thing is trying to remind me of whatever it's at. A constant visual cue. You're out of sync. Your mind doesn't like it. Your mind does not like it. Unless that was the goal from the beginning. If your goal was to not have that happen, your mind does not like it. Try to count to fucking 500 or just count to 30. While someone else is out they're just listing numbers randomly of how much cash they had in there. First month I had 37. Next month I had 12. Next month I had $5. Next month I had 17. And you're still trying to count 1, 2, 3. There's 17, and then there was 4, and then there was 5. Then I spent $12 on this. And then then there's a $100 charge, and you're still trying to get to 100. Same basic principle. Unless you go into it advanced with the drummer knowing full well that like the delay is going to be on a crazy syncopation that's not going to be in time, you just keep doing you. Oh, that's what you're saying. It sounds fucking crazy. Yeah, the delay is not with the music at all. And neither is the solo if you listen to it. But every now and again, those bounces land exactly on a note. Yeah, I hear that. It's fucking cool, man. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4 back here. But it's pot chocolate. Pretty cool, right? It's just like almond bark type chocolate. Then I layered the bottom with pot oil, like half a cup's worth of pot oil, and then I melted the chocolate and just poured it over top. And so then I started melting the pot oil, and then just stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred until it was all mixed up really good in there. And then get 3 or 4 pieces in about an hour. I'm gonna be happier. So there's a lot of questions about music production. Where do you start? How do you know what to do? What's the best way? And people are asking this about a situation where there are no rules. Where did my water go? I guess I didn't bring it back here. So you have to deal with chocolate teeth, sorry. There are no rules. There are no rules. Where do you start? Where do you want to start? What makes sense to you? That's where you start. How do I know when I make a change? You'll feel it. If you're actually serving the music, you'll feel when you've played a riff too many times. if you have a talented singer, Mark Lanigan, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, you may be able to get away with four chords, two chords, three chords, the whole song. Like literally no changes, like no changing of the voicing or nothing. Just three chords. Just, I mean, I know the smallest one I know that actually is like dope and keeps me enthralled is probably Wheel by Mark Lanigan, and it's just two chords, a D seventh and a G seventh. And he does a masterful thing with his voice to make it seem like way more complicated than it actually is. I don't got that kind of talent, man. Man, I wish I did because I mean, writing music would be so much easier. Just find two chords that sound good together, and then just start singing. A lot of my songs could stand on their own, but most of my songs are designed to be played together as an orchestration of people and performances, so that way there's something going on all the time, and it's not really designed for me to sit by myself and play by myself without other backup stuff. I just don't really write songs that are designed that way. Good, bad, whatever. Maybe I should start. It's not that I can't. Maybe I should just start so that way when I do decide to go to perform, if I am by myself, I'm not stuck there with like either covers of songs that are good to do by themselves that I can perform just vocal and guitar, but I have some of my own too. I can I can't really play that because I don't have the whole band. Um, Same time, it does keep me from having to play those songs, so maybe I'll keep it the way it is. Now, how do you know when to do a key change and what key change to go to? You don't. If you study enough music theory and stuff, you'll know which chord you can get to get a harmonious leapfrog to the next chord. You know, what I mean, from chord to chord to chord to chord, and you'll know what's in key and what will sound pleasing to the ear, and which will sound just harmonious to the ear. You'll know that, but won't know when. When is strictly you. How? You. Where? You. If you're waiting for someone to tell you that, you will never succeed. You won't. People that succeed in art make things happen. They dream. Big dreams. Like being talented enough to go out on stage and have 100,000 people out there singing along. Now, me sitting here right now, that's an egotistical ass dream. Can't even get like fucking 5, 10 people to tune into this thing. But I'm good enough to have like play Woodstock 2027, you know what I mean? But as a 19-year-old with a guitar and a pocket full of dreams and cash enough to get all the drugs I want, it's a ridiculous dream, but it's attainable. Look at the ones who've done it. Silverchair from Australia, not being the least. They're like 17 years old. Those kids were 17. 17. Hanson, Mbop. Say what you will about that fucking song. Like it, hate it, love it. It was everywhere. Those guys are still living probably off that money. They don't have to do anything. Make fun of them, joke about, they look like a bunch of little girls, whatever the fuck you want to do. One thing you want to insult them on? Being late on their bills. As soon as they start doing we got to return to the 90s, when they're not talking about the darker side, which of course they go immediately to grunge. Bop, 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 bop. They immediately go there. But they have to pay for that. Every time it airs, they have to pay for it. They have to pay to license it, and they have to pay a royalty for every time it airs. What if... That's the thing, is we have a very America-centric view on almost the entire world. Like, America is the be-all, end-all, center and end of planet Earth. Everyone wants to be us, everyone likes us, everyone loves us. And they don't. Everyone fears us, which they did. Donald Trump made a fucking mockery of that shit. Attacking your allies? How many people want to be allies with America now, knowing that we will abandon you in war? Which we did to the Afghan people, the translators. We just abandoned them, knowing that the Taliban was going to kill them. Just left them. The failed pullout of whatever, that was scheduled by Trump to fall during Biden's time. It was scheduled in a way that if they didn't do it, war would break out and a lot of innocent troops would be killed. So they had to get them the fuck out. There was no choice. Trump conceded defeat and backed the fuck out. You want to look for someone to blame for the botched fucking thing? Blame the guy who said we will be out by this date. No fucking later. No exceptions. Now, in music, you have just a nebulous idea. I had written a whole thing, and I thought about starting it out with starting this out with that. But I don't really do speeching. I just talk. But you start with this nebulous idea. It's so fucking big and huge. You can't quite grasp any really one good solid. You see this is just a mess. It's a ball of just all kinds of shit. It is loud. It's chaotic as fuck. And it's your ideal dream. And it's fucking beautiful. Now you got to make it happen. We got to start somewhere. I would recommend starting with finding an instrument that you connect with. Whatever it is. Piece of string, one of those big old jug type things that they always have. It tightens a string and it's put into water. Whatever the fuck it is, man. An old shitty acoustic. Whatever the fuck it is that you have. A shitty acoustic with fucking 2 strings. Whatever you connect with. The more you connect with the instrument, the more likely you are to spend time in the room with it. The more you're actually physically drawn to it, the more likely you are to touch it. The more likely you are to touch it, the more likely you are to play it. The more likely you are to play it, the better you're going to get. So therefore, it all starts with some kind of connection. You must have some instant gratification upon looking at the thing. Because that's going to draw your eye to it to make you want to be around it. You need some kind of connection to it. You need some feedback from it. You need to like work with it and mess with it to get some positive reinforcement of I can do this as quickly as possible. So you need to comprehend as much as you can as quickly as possible because that's going to start giving you that dopamine hit. That dopamine hit, whether anyone else likes it or not. If you like the sound that's coming out of it, fuck anyone else. Fuck them all. Who cares? Stop making all that noise. I love making that noise. I'll find somewhere where I'm not bothering you, but I'm going to make this fucking noise because this is the noise that's in my fucking heart, and I don't give a shit about what you think. Then work on trying to master your instrument, not by anyone else's standards. To me, mastering your instrument is you can get the sound you want. You don't lower your standards to make it so that what you can play is what you want. No, what you heard and what you hear in your head, you can get that out of your instrument repeatedly. You can luck out and get like a fucking song. But if you can't repeat that motherfucker, you haven't mastered it. I can get close. You haven't mastered it. The only way you've mastered it by getting close and just and not being the exact same thing is if the audience doesn't walk away going feeling cheated that they did that. That's not the song I paid for. Like if you're so good at improvising, no one really minds that you don't really write your solos. Mike Nova, he doesn't write his solos. Fucking Ian James doesn't write the solos. Doesn't sit down there and write them. Just improvises. Sometimes one take. And what comes out, comes out. Yeah, fuck with that. Fuck with that. Some of those straw solos you hear on there, improvise. Not sketched out. No. That's why I said that dude's a genius. He doesn't have to sit there and write how it's going to go. It might take him a time or two. But what he sends over is not like, here's the sheet music to go with it. And it sounds that fucking badass. Ian, the solo he put on Boxful of Death, I had a solo on there. But being honest, I played the drums, I played the bass, I played the guitar, I sang. And this is like my 11th album. I'm sick of hearing myself. I want some other players to play with, man. I don't know why I can't get any fucking back, I can't get any traction, I can't get a band to play with. Yeah, maybe I suck. Maybe I'm that much of an annoying person to be around. I can believe that. I mean, goddamn, we're on 26 minutes. I still haven't shut the fuck up. Where's I hang out with that shit all the time? No one. Quit Mark Lanigan. Take a look around. There's no one here. Been almost a year since I broke it off with my fiance. We're coming up on a year. Nothing changed. Just still me out here by myself. But it's given me plenty of time to work on music and stuff and learn things. I went ahead and thanked Simone Cohen again today because, as I said, I came to him with a song that I thought was a good song, that I thought I had mixed well. And it's not a bad mix. It honestly isn't. It's not a great mix. But I used one of his packs. Him being a good recording engineer. I wanted my pat on my head, being a good boy. I did a good job mixing. I played all the instruments, I did all the stuff, and I want my gold star. You can give me a gold star. He told me what was wrong with the mix. I didn't get resentful. I'm kind of, I'm doing everything myself. Can I get like a gold star or a bronze star, some kind of star? No. Like I said, that ate at me for a long time. God damn it, dude! You can never please people, dude. Either you overprocess the instruments or you whatever, but you underprocess the instruments and blah 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 blah. Blah. I'm going on. I'm like, fuck. If you go through the packs and you actually look, Simone did everything you would need to make that kit work for your song. Properly tuned, properly adjusted, proper heads on it, proper everything, proper mixing techniques and everything. Recorded it completely dry so you can put the EQ on yourself and adjust. It's got all the tones of the entire kit are captured with great microphones. And you can sculpt it so that way your guitar is not interfering with the toms, your bass is not interfering with the kick drum. You know what I mean? Your sound. You can compress things and set the levels of stuff and make a good sounding mix just by putting like a very few things on there and killing like below 80 on everything besides the bass drum. You know what I mean? You can get a good mix because it's a good drum set and he's a good engineer and it sounds good. But it doesn't sound like your song. It sounds like you took his kit that he recorded, did nothing to it, and added it to your mix. And yay for you, you nailed the parts, but the drums are lacking. And that's kind of a punch in the chest when the guy that recorded the drums is telling you that your drums are lacking. Motherfucker, they're your drums. Right, but it's your song. All this conversation isn't going on, but I mean, my head is like a year or so since I had got that comment back from him. And I know he's a nice guy, so it wasn't like he was talking shit. So it was just fucking with me. I have a tendency to not let things go until I understand them. And so I pulled up the session. Not processing the kit. What the fuck? Tell me about not processing the kit. Well, I mean, the bass and the kick are a bit kind of. Oh, he did record like 5 different kick drums. Tight, loose, different beaters. The back head on and off. The back head with a hole in it. So you got inside there. You know what I mean? So all the different types of things that you would need for that. It's the same kick drum. Just set up in all the way that you would record it in a recording studio. And I'm like, why the fuck did you record this? Just one kick drum. It's the same kick drum. Why? Because each one has a different sound and different characteristic. Without the back on there, it boom and kind of rings out longer. A little bit brighter. And it might fit your mix better that way. This is the type of stuff you do in studio. Loosen the snare, loosen the head of the, so it's got more flap instead of boom, 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 boom. Tighten it up so it's got more doom, 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 instead of, boom, boom, boom. All that shit. Take the back head off. And if nothing, well, the great thing is that all takes time in the studio. But the way it's recorded now, you have the same kick drum and you can just be auditioning. As your performance is playing back, you can listen to which one of those kick drums sounds best in your mix. If you're not a lazy shithead and actually go through and do that. So I started learning a little bit more about that stuff. I started realizing that the snare wasn't really jumping out of the mix because it's mixed more for the snare sound rather than mixed for my song. The guitars aren't really treated for this song. It's just a good guitar sound, a good bass sound, a good drum sound, and whatever. And they're put together at a volume that you can hear everything. Nothing's sculpted, nothing's formed. So I started shaping the fucking guitar tone so that now I'm messing with the bass. Started sculpting the bass so it's not interfering with the drums. So I'm messing with the drums to get it. And one thing I'm saying, like, I don't know what BFD did. Why don't they? I thought back that crack of the snare, that pow, you know what I mean, that you hear on radio. I thought that was a feature of the snare. The different types of snares, some of them crack like that, and some of them didn't. I thought that some of them had more crack than others, and there was a certain way of hitting it and or tuning it or whatever. And so, like, just a lot of snares don't have that, and some snares do. And so, I guess in studio they use this kind that do. Wrong. It's about transients. I never knew what transient. I've seen several transient designers. I've got transient designers, transient shapers. I've had them for a while, and I didn't know what the fuck they did. And I tried to play with them a little bit, and I just like, I don't get this. I don't get this at all. I don't. By themselves, I didn't get it at all. And then one day, I had my shit routed out. Because with BFD, you can route out to different channels. And so I routed out my channel. I wanted to try this whole side chaining the kick drum to see if it actually really does duck the bass drum behind the kick drum so that the kick drum is always kind of more present than without it. I wanted to test the feature and see. It's easy enough to do in Studio One. So I set up the chain. It really doesn't do much difference. But the chain is still there, and I used it before. And actually, I used it for most of that album just to see if there was going to be any difference on all the songs. And so I'm going back through those songs from that album. They said I didn't sound like I did anything with it. And that one that's patched out, I can use the kick drum that's patched out, I can use external plugins, not the ones that are inside BFD. To be honest, I haven't really fucked around with BFD's plugins since BFD3 upgraded and got bought out by in studio in music. They really screwed a lot of things up. But they did buy Air. They make VST plugins. And so almost all of Air's plugins are now inside of BFD3 also. And it's also inside of Revolver, I believe, which is pretty cool. But what was lost was didn't make their thing worth it. But they never had a transient designer before. After I learned messing with that kick drum how much punch you can get out of transient designer, and the kick drum is thumping like it was already kicking. Now it's like fucking just thumping hard, like where it's just tripping my brain out, and I'm like, oh, transient. I finally understand a transient, what transients are. I get it, and I get what a transient designer does. I get it. It's a specialized compressor, if you will, if you can consider like almost like a time compressor. Because compression, if you're following audio and stuff, as you know, compressors help to bring, if your sound is like, say this is the floor, and you almost can't hear, but you are playing kind of quiet, like a very delicate piece. Very like, and you want to have that delicate feel, but you want people to hear it. You put a compressor on there, and it brings that volume at least up a bit, compresses it, and makes it so that you can hear it. If you do it right, it doesn't lose that delicate feel, but now the audio comes to your ear a lot easier than having to go. What was it? Oh man, it sounds really delicate and nice, but I can hear it. I like that. By the same token, if someone, oh, song is really loud, the compressor clamps down on that so it doesn't go so loud that it blows anything out. Your TV has it built in. They call it auto leveling. They have like a medium, mild, and like a hard setting. Sometimes it's just on and off. But what it does is that when the commercials kick in, so they hit that ceiling, it just doesn't. And also, when like the music is playing, sometimes the music is really loud, or the laughter in the background of a comedy, it just starts really. It's just really too loud compared to the whatever. So this just happens to catch that and help to bring it down together. So compressors also, if sounds suddenly go too loud, it grabs them and brings them back down, compresses them to a smaller size. So, but that's on just a general, like the whole thing. For transient designing, it's more like the same type of deal. You're going to use a compressor to manage the peaks and whatever. But with the snare, especially for that real loud, nice crack to the snare, you want to compress the front end, like really accent that first smack a lot louder. Within that compressed, controlled signal, you bring up that first hit, and then you let it decay off normal, or you even cut it short if you want to just be like real fast, and or if you want to you want to hear the ringing of the underneath, then you bring the sustain at the back end. The tack is how fast it kicks in, how quickly when the sound comes through it does it interact. The sustain is how long does it hold that same loudness. So if you have it and it just holds to the whole thing, you're gonna hear all kinds of noises you probably don't want to hear. Like I said, the rattling of the snare, any loose pieces on the drum, it's gonna bring all those faint sounds that are normally decaying off. By the same token, if you have a kick drum that's boom, it's got a large thump at the beginning, but it drops off fast, and you just want a little bit of extra, so it's like boom, it's like boom, boom, boom. You want to go boom, boom, boom. Well, then you may not attack it so much on the front end, but on the sustain end, you crank that up, so it's boom, because the boom is there, but because the way if you can picture a waveform, boom, boom, and what the thing does, transient, boom, boom. You see what I'm saying? It brings the part that's trailing off of the waveform, brings up to the same size or around the same size as the beginning, so you can hear all those transients, what they call, decaying away. They're equally loud. Make sense? By over exaggerating the front end of a snare, it makes it sound like it's just and like I said, for years up until just now, every now and again I could get a snare to crack like that. But for the most part, I really didn't have anything like that. And like I said, Tune Track, Easy Drummer, I hate their toms. I think their toms sound like shit. But their snares always had that crack that I wanted. That I'm like, fuck, how they get that. See, I wish BFD would do that. But I wouldn't trade it because I get a good sound and the toms sound better. I just really wish they'd come up with like a snare pack with that crack on it, man. I don't know what's going on. And then as I learned more, they've all got that crack in there. I just didn't know how to dig it out of there. And Tune Track just went ahead and did all the stuff for you so that the crack and the whip and the smack is already there. But to be honest, I'd rather control it myself. Take a jazz snare. If I wanted to have a jazzy kind of feel and not so much rock, whap, I can adjust that. Or if it's a jazz snare that has a good feel and good sound and has a lot of sensitivity to rolling on the, but it doesn't have that attack when I dig into it. I can make that now. If it's too much, I just adjust it. Can't do that with Easy Drummer. You have to keep fidgeting until you find the right snare. Because they've already handled all that because it's easy. Oh, don't worry, they make a jazz pack so you don't have to think. Just drop it in your kit and you're ready to go. It's even got the beats for you. You don't even have to think about that. It's easy. And you know what they say about everything worth doing? It's really fucking easy. Oh, no, no, no. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. And it's usually kind of hard. And that's what makes it worth it. Especially if you learn to enjoy the journey and the sights along the way as much as the destination. You're going to Disneyland. So you just tune out the entire fucking world until you get to Disneyland? Because that's a destination. You're going to miss the world's biggest ball of yarn? You're going to miss the Grand Canyon. You're going to miss some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. You're going to miss how different towns are from your hometown. You're going to miss how similar different towns are to your hometown. You're going to miss everything of real value, including time with your family. In pursuit of a magical destination that won't be as good when you get there. Because you have no appreciation for what it took. Unless you get on a plane tonight. In 3 hours you're there. And then you ride the rides for a little while and you got VIP so you don't have to wait in any lines. You get back on the plane and you're back home in 3-4 hours. Stop and smell the roses, right? When are you ever going to do that? Any flowers, not just roses. Roses are beautiful, but there's plenty of other roses, like lilies to smell. There's plenty of flowers out there to sniff around, and nothing else, just to look and see. With my ex, I'm an honest person. So, she was asking me if there's, like typical women type to do you check out other people? No, I don't. I've seen you, I look at other people. But think of it like going to the museum. Seriously, think of it like going to the museum. You have art on your wall. If you're like me and you have art, I have art on my wall. Art that I like and that I want that personifies me. But I walk to the museum and go, wow, that's a fucking amazing painting. Look at this. You want to take it home? Fuck no. Do you see the size of this fucking thing? It's like 2 stories tall. Where would I put it? No, the realism in the painting is fucking fantastic. And for capturing the French Revolution, it's an amazing painting. I'm wondering if this where this is from, and I'm looking at it and observing it, and it's a beautiful painting. Do I want it on my wall? I don't even want a fucking print of it on my wall. But it's a damn good painting. And some of the things that people think are fucking amazing paintings, I'm looking at going, he's got some good work. I just don't see why everyone's losing their fucking mind over this. This is very, very average for everybody to be acting like even he considered himself very average and not good at it. But first, it's not for us or even the artist to decide what the audience thinks about your work. It just isn't. If it was, we'd all put our shit in the highest esteem, wouldn't we? There'd be nothing but number one hits all the time. All the time. You gotta consider that even the worst song that was ever put to tape or recorded, someone must have believed in it enough. I'm trying to think of the most ridiculous song I can think of, and the only one that comes to mind is actually one that I love is "Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star." It's um, it's it's one of the best songs like fucking ever. But it's so stupid that okay, it's funny and it's great because they're not being serious. It's like I was talking about the joke about the guy covering himself in invisible ink. If it's a joke, it's fucking hilarious. If you're serious, we can't be friends anymore. Like if there's someone playing like, oh, this is the number one song, Twinkle Twinkle, Patrick Star, and they play that song, I would call and request it immediately. Like that was the best shit in the fucking world. And like this is a new band. If they're being serious, this is a new band out of LA. We think this is gonna be the next big sound in the you know what I mean? It's gonna be taking the world by a storm. With their new song, Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star, the Veggie Tales group. And they play it, and I'm just like, if it's a joke, it's fucking hilarious. But this is charting on the and people are like not in a fucking they're grooving to Twinkle Twinkle Patrick Star. I've got a head. It ends in a point. Pointy, pointy, pointy. Pointy, pointy, point. Broccoli. That's such a fucking great song, and what's really great is that like my son really liked SpongeBob, and so like I mean, we just sat around singing that shit. It was great. Oh man, but if that shit was like on the radio trying to be serious, and they had a next song that's called Twinkle Twinkle, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever the fuck it was, I'd be like, okay, 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 you gotta stop. Um, for production, um, I would start with the learning of the song because you don't have anything to record without a song. Um, I would do as much pre-production as possible. If you're working with a band, toss out ideas. See if you can't get them to give you ideas back. As an audience member, what do you think about this song? No, I'm being serious, man. I mean, it's not gonna be. I mean, we need to make this as good as possible, right? We all want to make a career out of this. Maybe not that. I hear what you're saying. Like it needs a change, right? Is what you're saying. It needs a change. That key you're going to is kind of like too typical. What if we do like a different like take it up half a step and see what happens? That sounds fucking weird. Because down the one that you had at the beginning. So it starts out a little bit too high and kind of like comes back down. Or even we bend the note. So it's not just you're playing. That's natural. That's normal. So we go. See? Make it a little bit different. Even if it's. Make it a little bit different. Like different, but like the same, man. Yeah, I know Curtis, man. Open up his me, Dave. I got the stuff. Dave's not here. No, man, it's me, Dave. Open up. I got the stuff, man. Open up. So once you got kind of a song structured out, put it together. Make sure that you got like all your pieces that you feel together. There are sometimes you pull an audible in the studio. You know what I mean? Because you're about to start, and all of a sudden a bright idea hits you. But you try to keep those. Try to get as much done as possible before you hit the studio. But never rule out inspiration. Never. Even as you're recording the song. What if we just stop for like 2 beats? Just back in instead of coming through the whole of the bullshit coming back into the bridge for a second. We just go chorus, stop. Pow, back into the verse again. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's chop that out of there and see what happens. What if I do like a so the audience knows when to come back in? Let's give it a try and find out. Let's see what happens. Maybe not that, but try and give some kind of fucked up. You know how you have that weird fucked up. Something like that, but just fucking weird. You know what I mean? Something fucked up. So they can follow along, but it seems kind of like it's just falling the fuck apart. We never lost control. It sounds like it fell the fuck apart. It didn't. Controlled demolition, motherfucker. So, when you're writing a song, if you want it to stand out, try and think of those kinds of things. Try and object as much as you can. Put your fucking ego away in how great you are. I know it's hard to do. And try and listen to it as someone who's not you. If you can, try and do as much as you can to act like you don't know how the song goes, especially while it's playing back on the radio. Imagine you're hearing some other band play it. And if you find yourself kind of bristling at any point, it's time to start rewriting. Even if it's at a certain lyric that doesn't quite fit quite right. Take it back and figure out what's wrong with that lyric, what makes you bristle, what makes you. When you're singing your song, you should feel every fucking second of it. When you're playing your song, when you're on stage with your bandmates, there should never be a time when you're like, I really don't like this one. Not in the sense of I don't like how this one goes. If it's like, why did this one of all of our songs have to become famous? It's my least favorite one of ours. Why did this one have to become famous? First off, fuck you. Seriously, Vernon Reid said it well. There's a special place in hell for the people that resent their songs that made them famous. It just is. Because like people are like, oh man, can you play that song? And like, oh, I fucking hate playing. You know what? There are people that would love to trade spots with you. Because at least you're known. At least people know that one song. I would kill for people to know one song of mine. And it'd be popular enough that although I can't escape from it, don't really need to. If you're smart about it and you stop trying to. It's the same thing that happens with actors. When they start out, while they're busting tables, man, if I could just get a job where I'm not doing this, it'd be so great. And they get a job with like fucking a TV show. And they're playing the same character for 5, 7, 10 years, and no one wants to see them as anything else but that character. They try to start in movies because their acting is going through the roof now. I mean, their popularity is going through the roof, so they want to strike while it's hot because you want to play a bunch of different characters, but no one wants to see you besides this fucking Joey Tribbiani, Chandler Bing. They don't want to see you as anything else. Sorry. Characters similar to, yes, I'll watch, but still nowhere near like the amount that just isn't. Oh, you're making like $1 million per episode. Please shut the fuck up. There's 22 episodes per season. You don't get to play other characters. At 22 million, at 22 million for a year, you can write your own shit. It's like someone scraping snow, I guess. You can write your own shit, produce your own movies, star in the shit, and if it fails, you still have next year to make another 22 million fucking dollars. Not to mention that you're working with a cast and crew of people. You could probably talk to the main producers of the fucking show and be like, hey, can we use these cameras to. No, we're not leaving the set or anything. We just not for the scenes that I need to shoot here on location. We're already here on Warner Brothers set. I just need to borrow a couple of like the city blocks and stuff. We're gonna do some other shooting out in the desert and stuff, and then some other shooting in like some little whatever. But the urban areas, we'd like to control it, and if we could use your cameras, that would save me like a shit ton of money on the movie. Fine, I'll pay for the film. Whatever. Yeah. Can we use it? I'll pay their salary to film my shit. I just need some people that know what they're doing, and I really don't know. Yes, I could use a director to help me out. Yes, I will pay for him. Her. I'll pay for them to do. Yeah, we're probably going to need the writers too. I don't know about hiring the Friends writers because they're going to want a lot of fucking money unless they want to be in this project just to do it. And on top of that, they're probably going to try and make it to a comedy. And this is going to be more serious. I don't mind some comedic elements, but I want to do something serious so people to see that I'm not just this meathead Joey Tribbiani. I'm not just this wisecracking Chandler Bing. I have other things going on. I can do other shit. But again, if you ask me, and any veteran actors who are probably jaded with the system and how they've, lost out roles to this and they go out on roles and they get rejected and on and on and on. When they're in their later years and they're trying to get like roles and stuff, wouldn't it be nice to have yeah, like a steady work? I was playing the same character for like 10 years. I mean, it's just steady. I'm steady acting. I'm steady working on a show that I like. That'd be great. Because right now it's just like I might go 2, 3 years without a movie. And I make a lot of money, but I mean, I'd rather act more than that. If nothing else, I'd just rather be doing more acting than that. So if we did movies more as these 2 hour pilots, they're complete stories, but they're like 2 hour pilots for a TV show. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like if it gets popular, as people are leaving, they do like a questionnaire. Would you like to see more about you know what I mean? And you could have a thing with the AMC or whatever the movie theater. If you're willing to take a questionnaire, a certain number of questionnaires equals like a certain amount of discount on your next movie ticket. Then the people at the NBC, CBS, or whatever, they pay these movie theater places, or maybe built into the cost. Look, we'll let you show the thing cheaper. It's not so big of a deal if someone sneaks in or whatever. You have the housing place mostly for the food. You won't have to charge as much for the tickets. We have regular movies like we have regular movies. But pilots are less expensive. It's a good date night type thing. Because if nothing else, the whole rest of the night, the two of you can bag on that shitty ass pilot you just watched. Can you imagine you and your date like that was so bad? Like I'm so glad you didn't pay for that. Me too. That was terrible. I owe you another date. I am so no. It was funny. It was after a while. It got hilarious how bad that was, and they think that's going to be a TV show. Oh, far worse. What? They're turning it into no fucking what? You know what I mean? You guys are bonding already over the badness of the movie rather than like he took me to the shittiest movie. She took me to the shittiest fucking movie. No one knows what's fucking going on with the movie. That's why we just have a pilot and is expected. You can go either way. It's kind of cool, man. I think it's kind of cool. I like the idea. What if I waste my money? It's cheaper than a regular movie. It's designed to be cheaper than a regular movie. Tell me that's not a win-win situation for everybody. You don't have to worry so much about you just setting up the characters. You're telling some jokes, or if it's a serious like a medical thing, you're setting up the what the show's going to be about, and then it can be like a week in the life of the main character, or 2 days in the life of the main character. Whatever the pacing of the series is going to be, whatever the series is going to be like, a comedy, whatever. It's 2 hours, and it's just like a pilot would. Only you put a little bit more interest in it because this is going to be a movie. People are going to see this. Maybe you put more effort into figuring out which pilots are going to be. Oh, that pot's hitting good now. I just feel it just kind of wave. I really can't explain how good that feels when it does kick, though. Especially like as an opiate addict, it's like it's just this wave of just relief of just like, oh God, thank you, peace at last. Um, but no, man, it's just I think they'd be better. The same way I think if bands were smart in this day and age, there is no reason to record an entire fucking album because unless you are a big star, no one wants to give you that much time anyways. You may get one or two songs out of people if they don't know who you are. Maybe. If you have one that's almost good, they might go, hey, maybe they have another one that's better. And if that one's not better, you're fucking out of there. If they even give you that chance. There's so much music, so much entertainment out there. And no gatekeepers. None. No gatekeepers. If you can develop it, you can put it out there. Right now, I'm on YouTube. If you can make it, if you can produce it, it's just put on. It's put on. And there's a chance someone will watch it or listen to it. There's a chance it could connect with people and spread. There's a chance it could just die right there. That's why it comes in handy to not give a shit. Fuck it, who cares, man? Seriously, who cares? And why? There's so many people so worried about this stuff, and do you know how painful it is to like tell people? Like I said, you have a rough sketch. I say, like you said, I was seeing this earlier. So you have a rough sketch, a very kind of rough sketch of the image of what you see happening. It's too big. People will say no. Time goes on, it starts to refine. You start seeing that it's still the same picture. It's just coming into focus. It was out here. Now it's here. And like, okay, you see what I'm saying now? No. What about now? Do you see it now? No, I can see kind of what you're talking about, but it's just not gonna. It's never gonna get to. I mean, it is closer now. I mean, it's kind of like what you're talking about, but I mean, you back then you didn't say who was gonna be. And I'm like, no, I didn't, but this is the same scenario, isn't it? Yes. So now we're here and it's happening. Well, I just don't think that's the way it was. That was like over 30 years ago you said that. Now we have it. It's all here. And now it's too late. Okay, well, how do we stop it? Fuck face. Now it's here. Back here is when to stop it. Back here is when to stop it. Back here is when to stop it. Right here. It's too late to stop it, but we can mitigate the damage. Here. This is what I was. Okay. Hey, there's a car stalled out in the intersection up there. How do you know? I don't know. I just feel you need to get off the gas. So it's a Tesla. It's designed for this. And there's nothing in the road. It'll detect it. Teslas don't always find everything, man. Do you know how much this car cost? It's got unbreakable windows. Please just take over manual control. You see all those cars up there ahead? Dude, it's a red light. It's gonna change screen by the time we get up there. Please. Please. Take the car out of auto drive and put your feet on the controls. Please, I'm begging you. They're getting closer. It's not stopping. The car isn't. It's supposed to auto brake. It is not auto braking. Look, ambulance. These cars aren't going anywhere. The light's green. It's not changed. The car's gonna stop. Threat not detected. Okay, we're about 10 feet. What do we do now? We're doing 70 miles an hour. We're about 10 feet. What you called it way back then? What do we do? How do we get out of this? Because we're gonna hit here in about like 4 seconds. Pray. Pray. How do we stop this? Pray you live through it. No, how do we stop it? There is no stopping this. Back there, stop. Back there, stop. Back here, stop. Here, we're gonna hit, but we'll be okay. Any further, we're now part of the accident. And unfortunately, I told you this 2 blocks back. But you didn't believe me because it was just a feeling. I see something very bad. I see something horrible. What? I can't pull it all together. Please put the car. If you can't tell me what it is, I'm not taking the. You know how much I paid for this car? It's the height of technology. I am not taking out of auto drive unless you can give me a good, solid reason. Okay, here's one. There's danger ahead. The traffic thing on here is saying that the roads are clear. Okay, maybe the thing is having. It can't be an error. Computers don't make errors. But humans do, and humans program it. So if they haven't programmed it, updated it, and right as you're about to smash into the accident, if going down I-14, avoid intersection such and such. Oh, you're right, that was. Man, if you had said that back when you told me that you was feeling, I would have took the. I didn't know you meant this. Yeah, I know what you thought I meant. What are you doing? I'm grabbing the OS bar. Why? BAM! Welcome to Donald Trump and ELONIA'S America. We're going to drop prices day one. Promises made, promises kept. I don't know anything about Project 2025. I'm just surrounded by all of its architects. How many lies does a Donald Trump have to say before you believe a Donald Trump is a fucking con man liar? Because I believe he's over 30,000 lies and exaggerations from just his first presidency. Are you trying to bring about the end of the world? Because congratulations. The problem is it's scheduled for when God chooses it. You trying to at the time. It's kind kind of like you trying to save someone that he's damned. You sure you want to bring him down? You sure you want him to set you straight about when things are supposed to happen? You sure about where your soul's going? Even if you piss him off? Even if you piss him off? Look again. Turning back to your ways after you've been forgiven is the same as hanging my son on that cross, and this I will not abide. Read your Bible again. If he's forgiven you one time, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Go home, say 15 syllables. Forgive me, Father, I've sinned again. It's been 7 weeks since my last. Go home and say, forgive me, Father, it's been 10 weeks since I sinned. You can avoid the church thing entirely. Just stay home. It's doing you no good. The same way the Bible says, anyone who is circumcised, Jesus is of no consequence to you. The circumcision wasn't about cleanliness. The circumcision wasn't about anything other than proclaiming yourself to be Jewish. You are a Jew, and yet you lie. You say you're a Christian, but Christ was a Jew. So your church is a synagogue. Well, oh, I'm not a Jew. See, you're a liar. Synagogues of Satan, of those that claim they are Jews, and yet they lie. I believe in the God of the Bible. You mean Jehovah? Yahweh? No, Jesus. Liar! Jesus is the Son of our living God, as proclaimed by the apostles walking with Christ. Christ turns to them and say, who do they say the Son of Man is? And who do you say I am? You are the Son of the living God. Not you are the Son of God who has died and made you God in his stead. Not you are God in the flesh. You are the Son of God. When the Spirit lit upon Yeshua in the Garden of Gethsemane, and the transfiguration, and then Moses appeared on one side, and he told his followers not to say anything, but yet somehow they still wrote it the fuck down. Real good observation there. The transfiguration. His face and body shone as the sun. And a voice came from heaven saying, this is my Son, in whom I am well pleased. He didn't say, this is my me, and I'm so glad I made the skin for me to live in. Idiots. Wake up. How does this go to music production? All things glorify God, especially music. Every great song sings out his name. His name is so fucking long as you guys shorten it down into little songs. So long. Shorten to songs. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you believe. Neither does the universe. Asteroids are still going to collide. Stars are still going to explode. Whether you understand it or not, the events on this earth are going to happen. Earthquakes are going to go. Even worse, most of your dreams are going to blow the fuck away. As we reset, not by a fucking racial cleansing, but by a similar thing that happened to the dinosaurs. Why do we think we're immune? Tornadoes destroy us all the time. Hurricanes fuck us up all the time. Freeze kills many of us all the time. But somehow or another, we always picture ourselves immune from the pain of the world. Why? Because God loves us. Like he doesn't love the trees in the forest fire. Like he doesn't love the victim of a murder. Like they won't be comforted when they go see him. So you guys are so worried about now. What happens now? And more importantly, how do I feel about what happens now? Someone you love is murdered. Someone you know has no vengeance or hate in their heart. Someone you know is probably living with God right now. And you want revenge. Because you lost your friend. You lost your spouse. You lost the years. It's got nothing to do with making them whole. But this is all about making you feel better. If you could talk to them, they'd be like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I don't even remember the event that got me here. All I know is I'm in heaven. Me and God are chilling. Whatever you're trying to do, I know I died. Let it go. Whatever that happened to me, I don't remember it. And I would gladly do whatever it is to get here. I would gladly do it. Shut your ever-loving fucking mouth, man. Shut your mouth. Don't talk on my behalf. Don't you even dare to talk on my behalf. Don't use me to hurt other people. We gotta make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. What, dying? As you deny Medicaid and Medicare and health services to fucking your own citizens? You know one of the biggest murderers of American citizens is? The American healthcare system and the fucked up foods we feed our citizens, or lack thereof. The call is coming from inside the house, assholes. They played a fucked up betting game with your future a long time ago. Some of you before you were born. And they lost that bet. And the debt is coming due. The American empire will crash. And out of its ashes will come something wholly horrible. But it will look so nice. It's going to look like heaven on earth. There's a way This seems right, but the end result is death. Be leery of anyone trying to sell you heaven on earth. Be very leery of anyone offering heaven on earth. First off, when asked when the kingdom of heaven would be here, Yeshua turned and said, "The kingdom of heaven is upon you." There's nowhere to go that is not within his kingdom. What are you even talking about? So you mean to say that you think there's a place where God is not the king? That he doesn't walk in and own it? You think that there's a patch of universe you can claim for yourself? Where you can tell him how things are going to go? Is that what you think? What's going on in your head? So, you've laid your song out. Oh yeah, we'll get back to it, man. I don't care if you stick around or not. This is for me anyways. This has always been for me. Go back and watch from the very beginning. These have always been for me. There's been a couple that have not been for me. But it kind of tells in the title. Can't help that I love her. Just can't help that. You've written your song. You've done some pre-production work. You're about ready to actually share it. Which is really hard because when you come up with something new and you're really excited about it, it's hard to hold on to it and not just explode it everywhere on people because it's really exciting, it's really energetic. What's going to end up happening is you're going to release an unfinished product. You are. My advice to anyone, if I could tell you, if you're into production and making music, if you're already in the recording phases and stuff and the mixing and you're doing mixing and mastering, you just need to get some little tips. There are YouTube tips out there that will help you way more than any of this will ever do. Because I'm fumbling in the dark. But as someone who's fumbling in the dark, I run into other people in the dark going, how the fuck do we get out of here? I'm like, I don't know. But if we fumble together, maybe we can get some shit going. If you sit around waiting for a fucking light, well, none of us will get anywhere. Because they don't come just giving light. You have to pay for this shit. There's little sparks here and there. If you're smart, you can take those sparks, gather them together, and make your own little candle. And as long as everybody doesn't come crowding around, breathing all over it, we can all find our way out and start making more flames until this whole fucking darkness is lit up. And they can't hide the light anymore because it's ours. It's ours. It always has been. How long are we going to let them steal from us, make money off of our talents, and then discard us like trash? Like we're the pieces of shit, sponging off other people. reducing artists to fucking street side beggars while they do nothing and live in penthouses and fucking eat the finest foods. Athletes and artists take a lower continuous pay. The way they get you is that your ego says, this is how it is now. I have arrived. No matter how many times you watch people get there and fucking fall. No matter how many times you laugh at someone who didn't fucking bank their money correctly. No matter how many times you watch the public turn on them because they say one thing that they're ill-informed about. Just ill-informed. They don't mean to misguide anybody. They were just told wrong by someone they trusted. Oh yeah, man, no, that's totally what, and everybody's aghast. Dude gets fired. I sure hope you saved your fucking money. Whereas a contract that pays out that money for the rest of your fucking life, even in the event of being fired, this is the money we agreed to now. When you're used to making $40,000, $50,000 a year, they bump you up to 90, 100,000 a year. You're still used to paying your taxes on it, and now you've got twice the fucking expenses that they spend. You can use twice as much money per year for however long. Twice the life you're currently living. Remember when that was enough? Remember when you just wanted a new pair of shoes? I just wish I could get new clothes from time to time. I just wish I didn't have to worry about my gas. I wish I had a new car. I wish. And then you get like a fucking couple $1,000,000. Suddenly nothing's good enough. Nothing and no one. Then you fuck up. Like Snoop. Then you want to look hard, don't you, Snoop? Boy, you sit there and talk shit like, I ain't telling you apologize, blah, 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 blah. And then like shortly after, you know, we got to stick together as black people. We like to tear each other down, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I'm still and what does he do right at the very end? I won't thank my grandmama. You know, as he started first with grandmama. Because now, if you guys want to cancel me, remember now, I take care of my grandma. I take care of I take care of my family. I got kids. Before you start canceling me, before you go to cancel, motherfucker, remember my grandma's counting on my money. And I got that school team, that team of kids I coach. Remember? And I got a whole family. I got whole family people that are uncles and cousins. They're all counting on my paycheck. So I mean, if you cancel me, you're canceling my grandma. That was just a sad thing as opposed to what happened with fucking Kevin Spacey. I think Kevin Spacey was honestly, go ahead and hate me or whatever. I'm not trying to excuse anything. I think he was actually trying to say that he did it or that he doesn't remember doing it, but there is a possibility. And everybody thought he was trying to hide behind being gay. And once the blood's in the water, you're not going to do nothing but add more blood. The best thing is to let it die off. Maybe write in a fucking book exactly what you meant. And so when you die and they're like, this piece of shit, and then they find it and like, I never meant, don't blame me, I'm gay. What I meant was, Even he says I passed out on him. Does that sound like someone who has full control of their faculties? No. I'm not trying to run from the responsibility. For a long time, you guys have wondered, am I gay or not? And I've fucked with you a lot about it. But to lend validity to his claims, I will now go ahead and admit, rather than hide and go, what? Raping a boy? Dude, I fuck with you guys, but I'm into women. And then contact any of the women that he's straight. He could have done that. He could have done that. Why would I force myself on a guy? I know I mess with you guys, but trust me. Oh, Kevin Spacey's been getting the pussy. That's all he'd have to say. And he's an actor. You can find one or two women that he actually did have sex with, which he probably did. Like, yeah, he never had any problem. If anything, he's bi. I mean, he always seemed kind of soft, but he never had any. I mean, he wasn't like a tough guy, is what I mean by soft. No, he's. And then that kind of squashes it, doesn't it? Yeah, why would he's straight? Why would he fucking go after a dude? That doesn't make any sense. See? No, but to say that he's probably telling the truth. You guys have wondered, and I'm gay. So I probably did do that, and I can't apologize enough. But I also can't remember it. He's trying to hide behind oh my God, he's trying to hide behind. No, I'm not trying to hide behind. Anything I say now is just going to make this fucking so much worse. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up. That's not what I meant at all. And that's what I mean by getting your statement out before you're ready. Same thing. Pre-production. Pre-production is all getting it ready for that final reveal. Pre-production is not the earliest. The earliest work is learning your instrument. The earliest part of working on a song, a finished song, is pre-production. How should the song start? I don't know. Are we just going to do a 4 count and everybody start? Drum fill? Well, it's a good driving song, so what if like a 4 count on the sticks? And then boom. Let's try it. So it's not like just a drum fill. It's kind of like, it's bass and drums kicking in, and then it just bam and hits. Okay, that works. Anybody have any other ideas? This is the way it started out. Yeah, let's do a 4 count and just start it. 1, 2, 3. Now I've even heard that intro. I kind of like the intro, man. I was down with it, but now you're right. Yeah, I like the intro. Okay, how's it going to end, though? We could do the slow down timing, at the end, where it's just like dun 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 dun. You want to just end it with a dead stop, or do you want to end with another fill going out? How do you want to? You see all the stuff in pre-production that you're figuring out. So when you go into an actual recording studio, or you get ready to do the actual finished recording, you're ready. You know the BPM, you know the speed, you know when the solo kicks in, you know when the vocals start, everybody knows every part of it going in. You know when the guitar should back off, when they should swell up, when they should be reinforced on the outside with more, you know what I mean? Do your best to get a good reference mix of the song, a referral mix. I would call it, rather than reference mix, referral mix of the song, how you and the band hear it. Do your best to get as good of a quality there. If anyone in the band's an engineer, keep working until you get that motherfucker as good as possible. Even if you're just starting, keep working and working and working and learning as much as you can until you get it sounding as good as possible. Because if you actually go the regular route of a studio, you're going to go into a studio situation where someone's going to record you and someone else is going to mix you. You're not going to be recording, you're not going to be mixing. So the more you can present them with an idea of what you mean by the song, because they've never heard the song before. To be honest, you're a paying customer and they could probably, unless they actually sit there and say, dude, this is fucking great, they could probably care less, honestly. I'm just being honest. It's a business. They'll tell you it's a good song, but you'll know when they believe you're badass because it probably won't be immediately. It'd be like the second or third, maybe fourth song that you drop that's actually worth a shit. You'll see a lot of this kind of shit. How you guys feel about that? Did you guys like that track, that take? You want to do it again, or I think it's good. Okay, why don't you guys come in here? Okay, tell you what. I'm digging what you're doing. I think we could actually go somewhere with this. I think you guys can actually go somewhere with this. And I am willing to give you a discount on the recording process. My name goes on the album, and you promote this studio while it's out there. Like when you go and like, hey, you can get our fucking album when you're on stage. You can get our album out today, produced by, recorded at so and so, the Music Factory, right here in town. If you guys like the album and stuff, you want your shit to sound great, get in touch with fucking Greg over there. He'll get you hooked up, man. He's the one that mixed our stuff. It's incredible. See how it starts to network and together and start building a scene because other people go, oh, okay, oh shit, that is really good. Well, we're not like exactly like that band, but I mean, if we can get our mix to sound that quality, does he do other stuff? He does do other style of music. Okay, well, let me book some time there. Yeah, I was watching a thing the other day. It was talking about how if you're writing songs, if you're writing songs to please the crowd, you've already lost. David Bowie said that when you're doing stuff, you should be at least a little bit out of your depth. You shouldn't be treading water, but you should be like on your tiptoes to get air. And you should always be challenging yourself to get there. A little too much water, you're drowning. But you can still feel the ground. You still it looks worse, you know what I mean. And you are at the very edge of what you can do. But you should be pushing that way all the time. Sure, you may not be pushing your voice to the limits, but you're pushing music. Even if it is a 3-chord song, you're pushing it to its sonic limits of what 3 chords can do. rearranging those three chords. Although it's three chords, just made that up just now. Three chords. E, C, D. The chorus goes C, D, E, C, D, E, C, D. Which says it right back up to go to the intro of E, C, D. Now from that, you have your little structure there. You decided what three chords you're going to use. You set your parameters. Now, let's bounce between those parameters until we knock those parameters a bit wider. You know, let's think outside the box a little bit. Hey, where'd my chord book go? Oh, yeah, I have a whole chord book that has all kinds of variations of the voicings of the chords E, C, and D. So you don't have to use the exact same for the chorus C, D, E. I can use a different phrasing and a different shaping instead of just going, it sounds good. Instead, I can go C, a C. Yeah, so you can just do different shapings of different things. There's an A that's way up here. See, that's A. Just do different shapings like that. This is C, but this is also C. I think, wait, where's C? There's C, I think. No. There, that's C. That's that tune. Anyways, that's that tune, but so there's different ways to do an F, and I'm sure there's other ways to do it too, because if this is an E. There's all kinds of places to play an F and ways to get it, like a suspended, inverted, all kinds of ways to do it. So think a little bit. It's free for now. If Elon gets his little fucking brain chips in there, I'm sure each thought will cost you a little bit. At least a few credits, right? Of Dogecoins. They won't even troll the entire fucking planet to the extreme by then. I try to do stuff that's like, you know, whatever, but then it's like as I'm doing stuff, I'm just reminded of how fucking, I won't say pointless all of it is, but they're going to be gone. they're going to be gone. It's just like a nuisance, you know what I mean? There's a couple of fucking fruit flies in the house. They just happen to be really large, like the size of the ones that landed on Mike Pence's fucking head. Remember that shit? Because he's a big pile of shit. And flies are attracted to shit. Um, they'll be dead, fruit flies, for too long. I have a feeling that some of the people that let them in through the windows are going to regret the let. They're going to regret the let and pay off their debt. We just haven't got there yet. So after you do pre-production, it depends on if you're in the hand-off type mode. If you're in a situation where you can hand it off to the engineers, then you're going to go in the studio, you're going to record, and the engineer will guide you through the rest of the way of completing an album. They'll record all the parts, and then they have a person that mixes and masters and all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it. If you have no backing from anybody else, that's when it starts to get interesting. Because nowadays you don't really need anybody. And your involvement in your own art, you set the level of how involved you're going to be in it. Are you going to be hands on? Are you actually going to learn? Or are you just going to get the sound out of your head and that's all that matters? Sound out of your head and sign the checks. That's all that matters. Some people, that's all that matters, and I'm not here to knock you, man. Everybody gets everybody gets by how they get by. I can form my opinions about it. I'm allowed that. I don't judge anybody for how they make their money or how they do things, but I am allowed to form opinions, and fuck you if you don't think I can, or if you don't like them, because I'm sure I do plenty of shit that nobody fucking likes. Good thing is, I don't need anybody's fucking approval to do them. Because I don't do them for anybody to like me. I don't do shit for anybody to like me. I honestly don't fucking care. That's where I'm at in my life, man. If I'm being completely honest, I don't fucking care. I'm 48. I don't fucking care. It's too late for pretty much anything that I'd hoped for with my life to go the way that I want it to go. There's a few possibilities where it wouldn't. I'll live out my few remaining years, however many they are, happy. Chances are I'm going to die in this house by myself, alone, and no one will even fucking know about it. And it probably won't be very long from now. Unless Doge and Donald Trump decide to start fucking around, in which case I probably won't be able to afford to live anymore. In which case I won't die in this house, but I'll probably die out somewhere probably out in the cold. Seeing how my dad's one of the people that fucking voted for that asshole, I'm not gonna go live with him. My mom can't take me in. I don't have anywhere else to go. So I'll go die somewhere. I was gonna go out in the desert and die when I was 18. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. I'm like, why not, man? I won't have anywhere to go or anything I can do, so I'll just sell off all the shit in here, in this house, everything to my name, and buy a train ticket, bus ticket, make my way out west, walk off into the desert. I'll find God one way or another. It says if you're looking for him, go to the desert. So maybe it's time. Maybe I actually did it when I was 18. I shouldn't have been talked out of it. But I allowed myself to be talked out of it, and I didn't go. Should have gone. Maybe I should have gone. I wouldn't be living through all this insanity, being driven nuts. The annoyance of people complaining about situations they created and wanting someone to fucking fix it. We have people voting in our system that don't know how the system works. Even though it's taught in school, and somehow or another they graduated, they passed the class. How they pass the class and don't know how the whole class is how the system works. They pass a class and don't know how the system works. Sounds like you got a shitty education system to me. I know. It's a Scantron. Every ballot that goes in has standard common. Every day. Hasn't changed since the Constitution. Civics facts. 10 questions at the beginning. Very simple, basic civics questions that are not lean biased towards anything except for how the fucking system works. Anything less than 7 correct, your fucking ballot is invalidated. Because that'd be a passing grade. 5 out of 10 would not. 6 out of 10. I don't want you making decisions about my future. These are decisions that will echo through time, assholes. This isn't some inconsequential Super Bowl. This isn't some sports fucking thing where you get to own the other people. Show them a lesson. These are your fellow countrymen. These are people that live in your neighborhood. So therefore, any law that applies to them applies to you. No, just the ones that... They're not nuanced. Neither are you. There's no nuance. Ban abortion. Those are your big fucking ideas. We gotta ban abortion. Why? God aborts children all the fucking time. It's called a miscarriage, you stupid shit. He aborts people well into their fucking life. No. You might want to read your Bible again. It says that every hair on your head is counted and every second of your life is numbered. You will not die before God says so. You will not die after God says so. When your card is pulled, it's over. And that's what you're angry about. When you boil it all down, when your card is pulled, that's it. You crap out at the casino. That's it. You lose the love of your life. That's it. It's not it for you. That's it for that situation. And you want insurance that things will never ever change. And that you'll always be safe and that you'll always be okay. And that's why you fell for his con. Because that's what he was selling you. A guarantee. A lifetime guarantee on life. Vote for me and things won't be bad. Vote for me and things will be good again. Never mind that me and my kind are the ones that made it bad. Don't pay any attention to that. Don't pay any attention to the fact that while you're starving, I'm making billions, if nothing else, millions. Pay no attention to that. Pay no attention to the fact that I've never in my life ever done anything for anybody else. I promise you, I'm here to help you out. It's not a big scam to get more money. It is not a way for me to get into office so that I can avoid going to jail. This is about you, as all of my speeches reflect. Listen to all my speeches. They're all about how I can help you and how unfair the world's been to you and how they robbed you of your vote and your favorite human being in the world, how they robbed you of your God King. How they try to prosecute your God King. How I suffer the slings and arrows for you. They try to say I slept with a porn star. They try and say I knew Jeffrey Epstein. They say I'm an idiot. They say you're stupid for voting for me. They just can't stand to see you winning this much. Boy, they hate to see people being successful, don't they? Like they don't ever let anyone ever be successful. That's why they won't let me be successful. They don't. Black people, you understand. They won't let me. I'm just like you. I'm a black person myself. Yep, I'm more black than Kamala Harris is. Yep. Has she ever been to jail? No. Did she have sneakers? No. Law school. Come on, us black people don't go to law school. That's why I'm running to be your first full-blooded, white, black, Caucasian black president. Has anyone ever noticed that his fucking hair, even before the stupid haircut, looked like an optical illusion or a blur? Like there's no definition. You can't make out what it is. It's like there's the camera's blurry. Next time you watch, see, have you ever seen like someone with a shirt with like a herringbone type pattern, and the camera doesn't quite know what to do, and it starts giving off like color and shit, and starts doing weird shit, and then they're like, hey man, it's confusing. The black and white t-shirt is confusing the camera. What? The camera's just having a problem with it, and you know what I mean? Look at his hair. Look at his hair and see if it doesn't look like they maybe had like he's got a penis or something coming out of there and they just blurred it. Like right there in the top of his hair, there's like just a little dick. Same color as his hair. Just watch it. I wanna. I'll probably get copyright struck. I played that few seconds of fucking Stone Temple Pilots down. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Go to show what reference I was using. I'm like, that's all I'm gonna play. I don't want to play anymore and get copyright struck. I got copyright struck. It might still be up, but they don't play it in certain. They said it's limited in certain areas. Oh, but I can go dun 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 dun. I can mention the name Stone Temple Pilots down. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. And if I were to play it on guitar, that'd be fine too. But just to play go to show which reference song I was using. If I were making money off my channel and decided to do covers of songs only, that's okay. The reason I don't really respect covers is because quite often, especially an unestablished group, picks a popular song or a song that's already like done well or they believe is a great song. It's not a problem. I do covers. I do covers. But when you come out of the box with them, anyone can do a cover because the song's already written. Especially the more popular the song, then the more likely everybody is to like the song as long as you didn't do something stupid with the song. You can make it your own by like whatever. If you're a better singer than the person, then go for it. But if you're not, you can do other things. You can sing an octave lower. You can do whatever. You can strip it more mellow. Instead of going the high notes, take it lower and make it your own version. But it's still already a song that was written and doesn't show anything of who you are, really. It shows who your influences are. But from that point on, after they hear that song, there's a good chance they're not going to want to hear anything you do unless you play that style. Which you probably don't do. And if you do, that's kind of lame, actually. I play like an alternative type music, but that would be more for the fact that I just play more of a college rock feel. If you actually, I mean, I get told I don't know if you ever heard that song "I Know" that I wrote. That's one of my songs. I know. I get told that sounds like Alice in Chains. I'm like, what the fuck, Alice in Chains, are you listening to? I never say that to them. I'm like, okay. I've always thought it was a fair assessment that people would say that my music sounds kind of 90s. I grew up in the 90s. I was a teenager through the 90s. I was tripping acid. I was doing smoking a lot of pot. I think that's some of the best music that's been. I don't think we've had a good golden era of music since then. I think we're going to come up on one because we're having a golden era of comedy. And after a golden era of comedy, usually comes a golden era of music. You just have to watch the patterns enough to see. We haven't had a good golden era of comedy. Good golden era of comedy usually follows or is cresting during political turmoil and unrest. So when the political turmoil is at its minimum, comedy is more universal humor, levity, entertainment. When political gets more disingenuous and flawed, the comedy becomes more biting, becomes more real, more speaking truth to power, more I'm a little voice, and even I'm saying, fuck you, Donald Trump. Oh, and they're probably gonna come get me. And I'm gonna say it to his face and spit on that stupid orange face and rub it in. And I hope that fucking means that they pull the trigger a few more times on me. Because I'm gonna enjoy it. I hope that he brings me right to his fucking feet so I can punch him in that fat belly of his. There are very things that would give me as much joy as being there when Donald Trump is announced as the evil person that he is. When there's nowhere to run. When the crowds he lied to are starting to, instead of going after the Capitol, are burning down Mar-a-Lago. They're going through Trump Tower the way they went through the Capitol with torches. Only there's going to be cops with them. And they find out most of that gold in there is probably fool's gold. The reason Josh Brolin didn't get a tour of the rest of the house is because the rest of the house is garbage. He has a couple showrooms for you to right as you walk in, but you're not most supposed to see the rest of the house. It's like a set. For The Apprentice, they said he had that shitty fucking office room and not a boardroom at all. So that boardroom that he uses and used from that point on was designed by NBC to give him a look of legitimacy because what he had was a joke. They found an empty room in Trump Tower and turned it into a boardroom. He probably hasn't changed anything in there because that would cost money, but still walks in as if he's the fucking boss. He's acting now as president as if he's still running a goddamn reality TV show. Okay, you're fired. Okay, you didn't make the ice cream properly. You're fired. That's not how you solve problems. That's how you create more. That's how you have an FAA crash and accident like we had recently. That's how you get the problems that are coming down. It's going to get... If they do not act forcefully and soon, the damage will be irreparable unless this was something they already pre-planned on and there is a background operation running this whole time. Operation Give Him Enough Rope. None of the things he does are actually taking effect. None of the wheels that need to turn are turning. But boy, he's just firing off these executive orders and flying them out the fucking window, but they're not doing anything. Meanwhile, judges because they're not doing anything. They're not in a hurry because they're not really doing anything. He's just making these comments, and people are flocking. The audience is able to make up their mind whether they think that's a good idea or not. Apparently, some of them are so stupid they think that these ideas are good ideas. But when the fact that he less than 3 weeks ago pledged an oath to uphold the Constitution, and then in the first week broke that oath, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with how serious America is about perjury and things like that. They're very, very serious about treason. Yeah? Because in the end, the beast known as America will not be stopped. In the Bible, when they said, who can make war with the beast? I'm not talking about Donald Trump. Because if you think about it, countries out there, have they been worried about Donald Trump getting involved in the wars in the Middle East, in Europe, in World War II, and all that? Were they worried about Donald Trump? No. They were worried about the one that made fire come from the sky in the sights of men. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Fire from the sky in the sights of men. I've seen the footage. I wasn't there. I wasn't alive. I've seen the footage. America will not be stopped by someone as inadequate as Donald Trump or his supporters. They've come too far. They've got too much riding on it. But he serves a perfect purpose. Perfect. Perfect. He doesn't know what it is yet. You guys don't know what it is yet. But it's fucking bullseye. When it's explained to you later, the horrific precision probably gonna freeze your blood. That you were that blind to the movements going on right under your fucking face. I can see on the screen, but I cannot see it. Right there, I can see. I can see that. But here, I don't see shit. So if this is just hacking and sawing away, I would never ever know unless I took the time to look down. But to be able to keep their eyes right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left. Bad guy, Bad guy, good guy, bad guy. You're the bad guy. Yes. And I control both of them to keep you busy. At first, it was just picking your pockets. That got to be too easy. Now the fun is taking your life. Welcome to America. Land where nothing's free. Home of the slave. Land of the free? What's free? Free. Water's not free. Matter of fact, they try and take the water falling from the sky and say you don't have any right to it. Matter of fact, they're jailing people that are collecting rainwater in some states. Rain. You're not allowed to have rain water and gather it. Well, then you may not need our water that we are selling you, and you might be self-sufficient, and then you might encourage your friends to do the same thing, and then what are we going to do with all the fucking people we've employed to sell you water? Are you just going to go out in your yard and strip down naked? Use a bar of soap and do something sensible like that? For free? Like a savage? No. Pay for your shower, motherfucker. Like a real American. Fucking savage. You were born naked. God made you those pants. Put them on. They don't fit anymore? I can sell you a new pair. You must have them on. I don't care if you're born naked. You must have them. I don't care what dogs do. They're animals. They're savages. You're not a savage, are you? Put on your pants. Yes, the underwear too. I know no one sees it. Put it on. Because it's your grandma got you some for Christmas. Put them on. I don't care. Put them on. And the socks and the shoes. I know your feet will develop calluses. Dude, I don't have time for this. Are you a good American or not? Apparently not. Didn't you see the new sale on TV? Then what are you doing with this old shit? I thought you're a good American. You want the economy to do better, right? Well, then you need more debt. Fuck. Do I have to throw you in jail? I know. We just throw you in an insane asylum. We'll charge your insurance company. You got ACA? Yeah, we'll charge you ACA. We'll get money out of you one way or another. You can get out of there anytime you decide to start playing our game and act sane. Until then, rot. You filthy animal. You disgusting savage. I don't care how God made you. Behave the way we tell you. Well, we have jails. We have schools. We have prisons. We have army. We have execution. We have ways to deal with people that don't want to play the game. Oh, we can accuse you of anything that we want to, especially now with AI and stuff. But I guess it's been too late for a long time, hasn't it? Everything's kind of predetermined. So when God wrote those words down, it was too late for you. You were going to vote for Trump when he wrote that over fucking 5,000 years ago. You knew you were going to put on that fucking red hat. You knew you were going to swear your allegiance to fucking America and Donald Trump. And anything that's left over, you give to God and Jesus. He knew then that you would join a cult and turn on him for money, literally for cash. Literally. For the wickedness that is America, you bow down and dare say that our God would even be similar in any kind of way as this disgusting shithole, just murdering Native Americans. Proud and haughty. We're number one! Because, God loves pride. It should be more like, we are kind of number one. We should be helping a lot of people out there. We really shouldn't be. Just in a sportsman kind of way. I mean, think about it. Even at the Olympics, we usually do really good. But, I mean, the Chinese are only using Chinese. They don't have any black guys. The Swedish are only Swedish. They don't have any Hispanic people. Mexico's only running Mexican people. They don't have. We have Arabic people. We have every nationality. So if there's anything that any country's good at, we have it. We committed fornications with every single fucking country on this planet. And we just babble on and babble on about our freedoms. Most of you not even understanding what freedoms you actually do have and what you don't. And that's just according to the document you claim to believe in, which you don't believe in, because if you did, you'd read it. Never mind the book you pretend to believe in. Just because somebody fucking preaches it at you doesn't mean you believe in it. Yeah, you can believe in it the way you believe in electricity, even though you don't understand it, but you believe enough to not stick your finger in the electric socket. That's your relationship with God. You could get to know. You could. You could take the time to figure it out. Eh. I'll just go on Sunday and listen to him talk about Jesus again. It always makes me feel better because I always keep doing bad things. It's good to know that I'm forgiven already. He never gets to that part where he says, and don't turn back to your ways. Does he? He only tells you the part that's going to make you drop money in the fucking bucket, asshole. Get a therapist. That's what you really want. Someone that's going to tell you everything's okay. Kiss your little fucking boo-boos and tell you that you didn't do nothing wrong. It's not your fault. This life happened to you. Seriously, get a therapist because what you're doing is not working. God is not impressed that you show up on Sunday. He's not impressed that you showed up for Easter and fucking Christmas. He don't give a fuck. And if I had to put my guess to it, he stopped listening to you guys a long fucking time ago. A long fucking time ago. Shit, I try to fucking stay on like fucking topic about the fucking music and shit like that, but it's just, it feels like it's so close that it's, none of the other stuff really matters. Does it make sense? I start trying to talk about other things and go in other places, and it's just like, it's just there. If you voted for Reagan, pray. If you defended Clinton, pray. If you voted Obama, Hillary, pray. If you voted Trump, you're too fucking lost already. If you voted Trump, you haven't heard a single fucking thing that's ever been said to you about God. Not the God of the Bible. You didn't hear a fucking word. If you think you did, look at how they're responding to all the charges against Trump. Listen to his words. I'm probably the most innocent man God has ever made, said the rapist, the confessed pussy grabber, the confessed cheater of taxes, the confessed won't pay people their overtime, thinks he's on par with Jesus Christ, has looked to the sky and called himself the chosen one. You voted for him. Well, I didn't see that. Then you're stupid. The blind leading the blind. And they all go into the pit. Because all this information is out there. Again, you don't believe CNN. You think they're lying. They're the fake news. How come Fox is the only one? Hey, wake up. Wake the fuck up. How come Fox is the only one that got sued for lying? Why isn't NBC? To $700 million they settle out of court. Hello? Hello? You're not allowed to fucking just make up shit about people. It's called defamation. When you do it in the paper, it's called libel. And you fucking get sued. Ruby Friedman. And I can't remember the other lady's name. Sued your other God King's fucking friend, Giuliani. And he lost. For defaming people, saying that they fucking did shit to the election they didn't do. All these people are fucking lying to you and losing in court. And your answer is, why won't they give him a fair break? Why are they being so mean to poor Jeffrey Dahmer? Why is everyone lying on Jeffrey Dahmer like this? Oh, he had a refrigerator full of heads. Who doesn't have a refrigerator full of heads? That guy hunting, he's got a fucking freezer full of fucking fish heads. What about that? That guy's got a bunch of deer heads on his wall. What about that? What about? Huh? What about that? What about that guy that's got a stuffed elephant in his fucking house? What about that? If you can point me to a legal restaurant where Jeffrey Dahmer could order that off the menu, I'll play this What About game with you. Fucking stupid. And the worst part is that you don't even realize how fucking stupid you are because you're so fucking stupid. And all your bullshit sounds like goddamn poetry to you. But it's just bullshit. Okay, well if this is this and this, well how come this? You don't understand how shit works. Simple, very simple answer. No, dude, I sat next to you in class. You don't understand shit. You're a stupid moron. You're not bright. I can show you where you signed my yearbook if you want proof. This is an ongoing problem with you. Someday, humans are going to realize that a bank account number is not a relative number to your IQ. The number in your bank account is just how much money you've been a shithead. The more that's in there, the bigger shithead you are. Plain simple. There's no money in doing good. Is there? Ask teachers. Ask police. Ask volunteer firefighters. Ask EMT. All the things we should be pumping money into, we treat them like garbage. And they still do it. Then some fucking troll like Elon Musk comes around. And because he's fucked over enough people, you completely ignore the fact that his dad owns an emerald mine in Africa. Apartheid South Africa. That's not his hair. He's paid enough to get his bald head fixed. You ignore his Sig Heil. Or the fact that his parents were Nazis. You ignore the fact that this idiot paid $46 billion for the 15th most popular social media site that has been steady failing since he took it. That he got humiliated on the world stage just yesterday by offering $97 billion for OpenAI. Nearly $100 billion. And the owner said, no thanks, but I'll give you $9 billion for fucking Twitter. Didn't even call it X. You paid $46 billion. I'll give you $9 billion to take that fucking albatross from around your goddamn neck. And I'll do something with it. I'll make it something good. If nothing else, I'll use OpenAI. And you notice Elon Musk was all about, there's so much stuff he's all about until competition shows up. Now he's no longer so much about it. The Chinese are doing way better on batteries for electric cars. They're outselling. Electric cars are outselling everywhere. Chinese electric cars. They're selling everywhere like crazy. Everywhere but America. Why? But we're a capitalist society. And if you make the better, cheaper ice cream, then everyone comes up to get a scoop. And that's capitalism. And if your ice cream isn't good enough, you have to shut your fucking ice cream store down and go find something else to fucking do with your life. Except in America. Uncle Sam comes swimming in and goes, hey, you're going bankrupt? Well, taxpayers, we can't let that happen. Bank of America wasted all your money making fucking stupid bets. So, just this once, because everybody makes mistakes, we're going to float them $57,577 trillion billion dollars. And American taxpayers are going to pay for it. Is it too big to fail? Too big to fail is too big to exist. If Walmart collapsed right now, we'd be okay. Target would start getting a lot of business. Meijer would start expanding theirs. Costco would start probably expanding theirs. No problem. It's called capitalism. You can't handle the business, so we'll take care of it for you. Not in America. Not if you're white. Not if you're white and you've been rich for a while. You will never not be rich because you've bought enough people in enough places that they'll change all the Monopoly board game rules just for you. Just for one case. Just for one scenario. Well, the Supreme Court finds in this case, and the president should have some degree of immunity when he commits crimes. What if he commits a crime in the sake of committing a crime? For committing a crime. Oh, that would be a crime, wouldn't it? Yeah, but he's the president. Well, they didn't want like a king. So, I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. What's the precedent on this? We don't let them do it. Okay, so we're going to throw that out the window? Yeah. Well, we don't. We're so close now. No, not what the Republicans want, not what the Democrats want. What do the guys that sign the checks? What Harlan Crow wants. The reason he bought, and I do mean bought, Clarence Thomas. Who knows who else? Sotomayor. I mean, a lot of people go in there starry-eyed. We're gonna make a difference. We're gonna make a change. Things are gonna change, and you get there and you realize you're fucking outnumbered. Can't beat them. So either join them or go home in defeat, and or you keep fighting, and then everybody around you that wants you gone because you're idealistic and you're actually doing stuff to help people. Start saying shit like, I think they're stealing. What did you mean by semantic you to death? Death by 1,000 cuts? Aren't you married? Yeah. What is this email? You mean to my fucking coworker? See you this weekend? Why are you going through my mail? And what the fuck are you doing? You're very defensive about your mail. Is there anything else we're gonna find? I just want to know why the fuck tampering with mail is a federal offense. This is email. I don't go through your fucking email box because I don't have any fucking reason to go through your email box. But I guarantee if I were to actually go through your shit and actually go through your life, you'd find a lot more than a goddamn letter. And a letter you're taking out of context. I would say it's time to wake up, but I think you're gonna get slapped awake, and I think that's fine by me. We deserve nothing less. We've been shitty to the planet. We've been shitty to each other. Been shitty to animals. Been shitty to the forest. Shitty to the air. Shitty to the water. Is there anything on this earth humans have not utterly pissed on and disrespected? Literally pissed on. Is there anything? How much you want to bet people pissed on the Sphinx? All 7 of the natural wonders of the world. Or spray painted their fucking name on the side of it. There's a rude awakening. That's not all that rude. Especially since you woke him up first. You just didn't know you were sleeping. And that's the problem, because if you don't know where you are, then you don't know where you've been. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know shit. It's safe to say if you don't know where you're going, that means you don't know where you've been, and it means you don't know where you are. Right? It's very safe to say. If you don't know where you're going, that means you don't know where you are. Which means you don't know where you've been. Which means you don't know shit.